I have a project idea that requires a lot of d6's, like a lot of d6's. The problem is I only have one single d6 master to make a bunch of different molds on, so I want to try and speed that up. You might recall my last video I found out that PVC pipes make for excellent mold housings, and they seem to be pretty scalable, as you can go pretty darn large with PVC pipes. I figured it looks like I can fit a whole RPG set in here, so I ought to be able to fit a lot of d6's in there as well. The problem is in that video I only ended up making one single d6 mold, and I need a lot of master replicas, and that's going to take forever. So let's go ahead and get started mixing up some silicone. I'm using Dragon Skin 20 because it is a pretty easy to use set of silicone, and since you get to mix it up by volume, I get to eyeball that SOB. Now I'm pouring it into this PVC mold housing, but that's kind of jumping the gun for anybody who didn't see the last video, so quickly recapping, I take some special transfer tape, put a PVC pipe over it, put a D6 inside, hot glue around it so the silicone does not leak out, and then I just pour the silicone around the mold. It's far better explained in that other video, but I'm going to go more into depth here as well as we make a much larger mold. So I put it in the pressure pot. While I was putting it in the pressure pot, I already had that other mold, so I fill it up with resin, but again, we'll go into detail on how to do that later. Taking the transfer tape off, I've got the bottom half of a mold ready to go. I've got the D6 in place. I cut out some keys and registration marks, which I then go ahead and coat all of the silicone with Vaseline. This is going to function like mold release. I just prefer to use it over mold release. Get as close as you can with the Vaseline to the thing that you're casting in your mold. In this case, it's our 6-sided die. If you do happen to touch it with the Vaseline, no big deal. Just take a dry Q-tip on it and it will kind of fix itself. I make a dam around the PVC pipe by wrapping tape around it, hot glue up to cover any holes, mix up more silicone, and as traditional, I accidentally put way too much mica powder.
Oh, that's too much. That's too much.
As I'm scooping out my excess mica powder, I mix it up and get a nice gold bit of silicone. You can totally mix mica powder with silicone if you want a different color, and I like making gold tops for my molds now. I don't know why, it's just pretty. Again, this is all a very quick version of the last video, but we do need to make one more mold because I don't want to have to make 10 D6's with a single mold. That would just take forever. So we can double our speed by doubling our molds. Quick maths. And now that those molds are created, we can kind of create tier 2 masters. I'm going to mix up Envirotex light resin. It's a by volume resin, so mixing it up is pretty easy. I don't even need all that much of it. I'm only filling up 2 D6 molds. I go ahead and grab whatever alcohol ink happens to be closest to me. That way I can have the colors be differentiated from the original master. I don't want to ever get those mixed up by accident. So I fill up both D6 molds, just allowing enough resin to barely come over the top. As it does so, then I will be able to shake it up, try and get as many bubbles out as I can before I pop it with a little lighter. The less bubbles that are in there, the better, less chances that there's going to be any sort of voids whenever I pop it in the pressure pot. Now, I am going to pop it in the pressure pot, leave it in there for 24 hours, and I do that 4 times because I needed 8 more dice. Okay, actually I have to do it 5 times because I messed up. But now I have 10 dice total. That is realistically all I'm going to be able to fit in a 4-inch diameter PVC coupling. It all came from the original master, and then I had the dark blue one that I poured in when I was making my second mold, and so I only had to make 4 more sets of resin. Again, 5 because I messed up. Now it's time to sand them. The better I can make these dice going into the molds, the less I will have to do whenever I make new dice. So I'm going to use a glass pane here to be as flat as I possibly can, and I'm going to cut up some Zona papers, which are essentially just really, really fine grit sandpapers, and they will get things to a glass-like shine by the time I'm done. I'm going to go through all of the grits, though I'm only going to show 2 here in the video. I sand every single side except the 6th side, or the one that has my logo, because that one pretty much came out perfectly on all these dice. I sand it for 10 seconds or 50 revolutions per side, so it takes about a minute per die, and then I got to go through, I think it's 6 or 7 grits of sandpaper or Zona paper to get them at the polish that I think is acceptable, and so that they're nice and shiny. And so it takes a long time to polish all these, but man, are they worth it. They look so good when they're done, and hopefully, as I make this large slab mold that's going to take all 10 of these, it's going to be amazing, and I'm not going to have to do much work. I got this 4-inch diameter PVC coupling, which is essentially so that you can connect 2 4-inch pipes together. I thought I was only going to be able to fit 9 in there, and I have this cool grid with my Fisker's map on the back, but then I moved them over just 1/2 inch, and I found out, oh, dang, let me play around with this layout. Maybe I'll just be able to get 10 of them in there. 10 would be a great number because then I can make 2 sets and have 20 dice for the project that I'm trying to go for, and it works out perfectly. So I'm going to take this transfer paper. It works better than packing tape. For some reason, packing tape has an issue curing some silicones and it makes it all goopy for a couple weeks, and I don't love that. And this one has its own grid on it, so that's really helpful if you don't have a Fisker's mat like I do. I line them up in this orientation, 3 on the top, 3 on the bottom, 4 in the middle, and that's just about as good as I can fit them in there. I don't want the walls to be too much thinner because then the weight of the resin and the lid may deform them and deform the dice, and I just don't want that. So it's time to grease up the pipe. Control yourselves in the comments. So I'm going to use Vaseline on my finger. You don't have to use gloves if you're an absolute freak, but I definitely recommend using gloves because it gets everywhere. I go ahead and stick the pipe down onto the transfer paper. I highly recommend doing this on your glass pane as well. It makes everything so much flatter and so much easier. I put a bead of hot glue all the way around it again, and it's time to mix up some more silicone. I have never made a slab mold this large before, so I'm not entirely confident in how it's going to turn out. This is as much of a guess for you as it is for me as I'm trying things. There's so much silicone that I actually have to put 2 popsicle sticks together because I tried it with one and it broke. You can totally use like a metal knife. The silicone will just peel right off. I just didn't have one near me. Now here's a trick that I messed up. Don't pour it to one side when you're making a slab this big. Do it either all the way around or in the very center because it will kind of bunch the tape up from the weight of the silicone and you'll get this weird wave. I'll show you that here in just a minute. I go ahead and take the coupling and place it inside my pressure pot. I try and do it quick. I wish I had a glass insert that was super flat that I could have just set down inside, but whatever. This is just what I have to deal with. I go ahead and put it back in my pressure pot. I put it in for 40 psi for 4 hours is all it takes for this silicone to cure, so that's fantastic at least. Flip it over, peel the transfer tape off, and man, I was pretty happy with it except for this little wave that I was talking about. Because the silicone kind of pushed up on the tape, it made a small little kind of crease in the actual tape where the silicone was making a mold out of, and so it's not 100% flat on the bottom. Because it's not 100% flat, also a corner of one of the d6's has silicone under it. Super frustrating. That's not that big a deal. You can fix it. It's just you got to be pretty darn careful. You can take an X-Acto knife and try and cut out that excess silicone there. By cutting it out whenever you're making the lid, it's going to fill in wherever there's no silicone anyway. Just you got to be careful because anytime you're touching it with a knife, you can scratch the die. I'm not really all that worried about it. These are extra die. They're not the masters themselves. And I typically sand the ones faces of things anyway, so it's not a big deal. I had another edge that was covered under silicone, so I did a lot of cutting. Then I cut out some more keys and registration marks. You totally could have put some of those in with like little pieces. A lot of people do Legos and stuff. I just like to cut mine out. I'm going to go ahead and put some more Vaseline around the top of the silicone, put some transfer paper to make another dam, just like I did with the other PVC pipe. You can see what I'm doing here. I didn't want to rehash it with a small pipe since I did that in the previous video, but I'm going to show it off here. I cut off the excess tape, do another bead of hot glue all the way around it, pour way too much of the mica powder into the silicone once again, but man, that's a pretty gold color, and then I pour it over the top. I kind of put a little too much silicone for the lid, but I would rather go too much than too few. You want a really heavy lid so that it weighs itself down and doesn't leave a lot of bubbles or rooms for gaps that can create voids whenever you're making things with resin. I cut off the extra silicone, and then the best way to get this out, because we put Vaseline on the inside of the pipe, is to just kind of plop it down by pushing down the bottom. Prep work makes the dream work, and all that Vaseline helped it slide right out easily. Now the whole mold is looking fantastic. I was actually pretty darn pleased with how this was looking. The wave has me worried that it's just going to pool silicone on the side and the dice are not going to come out in any way, shape, or form. But the only way we can figure that out is by testing. Now, I made a really large base to this mold as well, and normally thick bottoms ain't a problem, but you know, this makes it difficult to get the dice out of this. So if you want yours to be thinner, go for it, but I do worry about deforming it as you put such a large top to the mold on it, just like I mentioned before. So now we're going to test it out. Let's mix up some resin, pour way too much mica powder once again.
That's too much. That's way too much.
Nothing wrong with a little extra tequila sunrise, and that is a vibrant orange anyway, which is what I was going for these test dice. Now, normally I'd say put some parchment paper down, but if it's really late and you don't want to wake your kids up and you ran out of parchment paper, you can just use the box the parchment paper came in. We're just trying to make sure that we don't get any mess with the resin. I'm going for a cool Halloween-y orange and purple vibe here in April. I know how to manipulate the YouTube algorithm, and I pour it into the mold for a dirty pour style. I'm kind of winging it. These are just test dice anyway, so I put way too much and immediately pour it with the dirty pour and make an extra purple one, but it kind of turns out pretty cool in the end anyway. And besides, we're just trying to get the shapes and make sure the mold itself works and that slab molds like these are possible. Normally, I would pop these surface bubbles with a lighter like I did before, and I'm only noticing as an editor now that I completely forgot to do that with these, so hopefully they turn out okay. I put the lid on. It's a very heavy lid. It should make things all right. And man, even with all those bubbles that I forgot to pop in there, gosh dang, these dice turned out really, really good. There's some kind of raised bubbly parts here, but that was because I kind of peeked and cheated before I opened it up on camera. I was really worried that these weren't going to turn out and I needed to redo the whole thing, but well, golly, they did. They turned out amazing. Being real with you, I was very surprised that this turned out. I thought the wave in the silicone was going to mean at least one of the dice was going to have a major void in it or just a huge gap that was going to be a problem. But no, there's hardly any flashing. I can just take a knife right along the edge and boom, these don't even need sanding. You could sand the one's face if you wanted them to be ultra perfect, but these were test dice anyway. So I think that they turned out amazing for what I was doing. I'm very, very happy with them. For my first try at a major slab mold like this, I am super pleased. I can even make another slab mold with the back half of this coupling if I want to, but real quick, let's hear from this week's very handsome sponsor. It's me! I'm the sponsor this week. I've recently started hosting games over at Start Playing. Very briefly, it is a paid tabletop gaming service where you can host games. I'll be hosting some Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition games over there in my homebrew world. My buddy Jakey Boy Arts has been doing this for a while, and he said, hey, you should get on that. So here I am, getting on that. It's going to be a lot of fun. I've got a lot of cool campaign ideas ready to go, and there's 2 games already up for people to sign up for. They're a long-term campaign, so if you're interested and don't really have an avenue to play D&D, maybe this is for you. Or maybe you just want more D&D in your life, in which case I got you for that too. It's going to be a good time. We're going to hang out, we're going to laugh, we're going to cry, we're going to role play together, and we're going to have a fantastic time. So if you're interested in joining an online D&D campaign hosted by me, come check it out. I'll put a link in the description down below. And besides, who needs to roll physical dice anyway? Physical dice, that's for losers. So anyway, I'm very proud of how these physical dice turned out. Honestly, the mold is really what the video is about, but these dice are pretty cool too. So I couldn't just leave them hanging. I'm going to take one of the orange ones and the really kind of off purple one that I happened to make and ink them up because I want to see what they look like. And I know you guys want to see completed dice and don't want me to leave you hanging either. So I'm showing all the colors that I'm going to be using on the screen and I'm going to start inking them proper. I take the purple Nagaroth Night color, mix it up with a little bit of water so that it's a tiny bit thinner, but I honestly use way too much water here. This is extremely thin, but I fill up the 4 just to test it and see if this color is going to be pretty legible, and I was really darn happy with it. Very spooky Halloween vibes, which I'm all about here in April, and I wipe off the excess with my thumb, but if there's any real excess left on the surface, that's okay. We're going to take some stuff to clean it up with here in just a minute. I take this orange color from Vallejo to do on the purple dye, but man, even still, I have to end up doing 2 coats of paint after this dries because it's just not very covering. I don't know if that's just me. I've never had good luck with orange paint whatsoever, but on my logo on the 6th side, I go ahead and color the goblin green and do the gold that he's biting into because I love gold, and so that's what the logo is, and I paint that up with this kind of chrome gold that I got from Green Stuff Worlds. This is my favorite paint by far, and I love how they turned out. They are gorgeous, but they are a little bit messy, so as I said, we're going to clean those up here. I'm going to take a microfiber cloth, put a little bit of isopropyl alcohol on that, and just wipe off the surface. It takes very little wipes before it is absolutely clean and good to go. Then you can just dry it off with the dry part of your microfiber cloth, and these dice are looking absolutely spiffy. I didn't end up inking the rest of them. I wanted to leave them as blanks in case I wanted to make an even larger mold, but I honestly don't think that I'm going to be able to do that now. This slab mold was heavy enough as it is, and I just don't know if I even have a housing that can do a larger mold or one that will fit easily in a pressure pot and not just become an absolute hassle. It's cool to see what came from one set of masters into a tier 2 set of masters and now what is essentially like a tier 3 set of masters. There's some Vaseline all over this green one still here. It's not just absolutely ruined. I still got to clean that off. Super duper happy with the mold, but let's go ahead and hear how these dice sound. Music to my ears every time. I have a new video coming out in between what this final project is going to be for, but see if you can guess why I need this many d6's down in the comments down below. Hopefully I'll get to play with some of you fine folk over at Start Playing here pretty soon. It's going to be an absolute blast. I just know it. Like the video if you like it, dislike the video if you dislike it. I want to hear that too. Subscribe for some more content so you don't miss it when it comes out, and either way, I hope that you have a fantastic day.